Hello and welcome to Return to Eberron Cult of the Godseed. My name is Matt Nahat and I will be DMing for our group of friends today as we get together and continue our adventures in Eberron. I have with me some wonderful players and they're going to introduce their characters for us, and we're going to get right into the action as some things are going down in Stormreach that, well, it'll be interesting to see how our characters react to them. So today, let's start with Silas, and then go to Lana, Dawn, and Bastian after that. Go ahead, guys, introduce yourselves, and I will give us a tiny bit of a recap as to what happened last time, and we'll get straight into the action.
Yeah, my name is Corey. I am playing Silas Phoenix tonight, and I'm super excited to play again. Can't wait for the session.
Awesome.
I am playing the role of Dawn, druid extraordinaire, half orc, slayer of foul creatures and women alike. That would be a metaphorical slaying of women, to be clear.
Excellent.
I'm Mary Chris playing Lana May, and she is a rogue far from home.
Indeed.
I am Bones. I'm playing Bastion. He is a clockwork forge who is seeking redemption for past misdeeds.
Also done.
Indeed. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, last time we went further into the Honeycomb Caverns, a place where we believed that the glaive of darkest depths was. Felice's powers were leading us in that direction, and all of the rumors were leading us in that direction. Having descended into the Honeycomb Caverns, we found the previous inhabitants slaughtered and their bodies spread throughout the caverns. And when we went inside, their bodies reanimated, pulling themselves together into horrific undead abominations. And then we discovered, zombie drow, and we discovered this great big pile of corpses that was held together by gelatinous blood. It was disgusting. Having entombed it inside a wall of stone erected by Don's magic, we accessed the tomb's main room, where we found a sarcophagus and where we found a glaive. But upon becoming attuned to the glaive, it became immediately clear that this was not the glaive of darkest depths. And as soon as it was touched, an undead giant rose from the sarcophagus and claimed that his glaive, the one that he had made, the glaive of darkest depths, had been stolen. And we agreed to track the glaive down, only because that's what we were doing anyway. We didn't really tell this undead giant that much. We just said that, we are looking for it, which is true, and we are willing to track it down, which is true. But I don't think that our party intends on giving it back to him. He then has helped us to finish off the undead abominations, because this is his home, and he has cast the Hallow spell, which has made it so that no undead can be animated here again. That's an abomination to him, and we've gone on our way back to Stormreach. We've had a long rest. In that time, it's taken us a couple of days, probably close to a week to get back. But here we are back in Stormreach, back into the Manticore's Tail, this inn. And when you did get back, the first thing that you would have noticed is that there was a good deal of chaos in the streets. In fact, you were held up at the gates for a significant amount of time, answering questions and trying to prove that you are who you say you are. Once that was proven by contacting Alina or Mike, our tavern keeper, or one of our other contacts, once that was proven, you guys were allowed to enter the city and resume your normal, fare. But you were warned that things are a little bit tense. And as you go through the streets, or as you went through the streets, you saw various examples of people having been killed, and their bodies strewn in the streets, and cleanup crews trying to speed the clearance of these sites out as quickly as possible. Most, like 95% of the bodies that you see are the bodies of drow, dark elves. And you would have gotten into town about 10 o'clock at night, which is another reason why you got questioned, but it was unusual. And apparently this attack, or these attacks, have happened in the last couple of hours. You've made it back to the Manticore's Tail, having seen numerous sites where many drow corpses of various descriptions have been slaughtered in the open air. And here you are, back in the tavern with this new information. If you want to, in retrospect, talk to any of the guards, we can do that now. We'll summarize anything that they told you, and then we'll take it from where we are now. So if there's any sort of information stuff that you want, let me know. But let's put the game into your hands.
Lana wants to go scurry off and check on Edith while everyone else gathers information.
All right. So what exactly do you want to do while people are gathering information?
She's just checking on her, where it's like, Edith is my new buddy person in this town. I gotta clearly go check on her. You guys figure out what's going on. I'll meet back up with you at the Manticore. So all she wants to do is make sure Edith's alive. Maybe have some tea with her real quick if it's not too late.
Edith will answer the door in her nightrobe. She's holding out a little lantern that's quivering just as she is. And she looks out the door and she can't see very well. She says, "Who is it?"
Edith, it's me, Lana. Sorry, I just got back into town and it seemed like it gotten kind of scary around here, and so I just wanted to make sure you're all right. Sorry to wake you.
"Oh, I wasn't asleep," she says. It's a bit hard to sleep. The streets have been loud with all of these happenings?
I can imagine.
Oh, dearie, won't you come inside? Clearly, you know, it's dangerous out there. And
Indeed, I can stay for a moment, but then I have to get back to my party. But yes, I'd be happy to come in. Can I make you some tea? And yep, she'll go in. She'll probably spend at most 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she'll say her goodbyes and head back.
all right. Yeah, well, she'll be able to tell you that the attack started at about 8 o'clock
Alright.
after the sun went down.
Okay.
And it's now only like 10:30. So within the last 3 hours, definitely.
Thank you, Edith.
Cool. Yeah, what's everyone else doing? Obviously, you can ask any questions that you want of any guards or any passers-by or any witnesses on your way back to the tavern. You can talk to Mike in the tavern. Whatever you want to do, guys. You've already had a long rest, so you're back to full health and also back to full spell slots, just in case you hadn't done that. So make sure that that's all refreshed too, guys.
Would it be alright if I replaced Gust of Wind with Cure Poison?
Yes. As long as it's the same level spell, then...
In the system.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I've just replaced a level 1 spell with a level 5 spell. No, as long as it's the same level, you're fine. I don't know off the top of my head, so
Just
I...
switching out your daily memorized, right? Donna will ask a passing guard, let's... what do we know? there was an attack. Do we know what the drow are attacking for? Is this normal?
I say, well, no, it's not normal. And the drow were the ones that got attacked. So they just arrived tonight after the sun went down, a great retinue of them. And they were making their way through the city, and they were attacked, ambushed by the sewer serpents.
The sewer serpents.
Yes. Witnesses report that it was only drow that got attacked. Any passers-by or witnesses were not touched.
Well, that's strange.
Hey, Dawn. I thought the two were working together.
Really? Yeah, we did think that, didn't we?
Well, what you knew was that Lady Vol, this lich, ancient lich of great power, has allied herself with both groups. She's allied herself with the drow and allied herself with the Yuan-Ti. You might have assumed that that meant that they were working together. However, this evidence probably points you in the direction that probably they're not. If this happened, or at least maybe there's a rogue element within the drow or within the Yuan-Ti. You're still unsure whether the Garter Serpents are part of the official Yuan-Ti presence here in Eberron. You know that they certainly are, that there are Yuan-Ti amongst them, or snake people amongst them. You don't know if that's all that they are, and you don't know if it's an official Yuan-Ti thing. And you also don't know if the drow contingent that arrived tonight was an official visitation from the Underdark, or whether this was a rogue group like you found in the wilderness that attacked you the other week. So there's a lot that we don't know, but it's, yeah. So maybe they're working together, and maybe there's rogue elements that aren't, or maybe they're not working together at all, but Mistress Vol has allied with both. You're not sure which.
Huh. Maybe they're not working together after all, or maybe there's more to their society than we thought. Either way, guard, what are you doing in retaliation to these attacks?
Well, they report that they had already begun to amass their forces to invade the sewer serpent's lair, as instructed by you 2 sessions ago, and so they've been mobilizing in preparation for that. And members of the 2 other gangs have approached the city guard and said that they'd be willing to invade one of the other levels. So you saw when you went into the place, if you remember, that there were many, many levels of, I guess, for want of a better word, the lair slash dungeon that the sewer serpents were hiding out in, and that the contingent was much larger than what you initially expected. So the city guard and the 2 gangs have agreed that they can secure a level each, or 2 levels each, or however many levels each, whatever, but they don't want to work together on the same level. They want to, they're willing to invade different levels, and we can go to the heart of the lair and invade that level, so we don't have to go through like 10 levels of dungeon to get to the end. They're willing to do what we're doing on the other levels.
Sounds like a good plan.
What's your name, sir?
He says, my name is unimportant, but you can call me Brillith.
Well, Brilbra,
Brilbruth the unimportant.
your humility becomes you. Man, I don't know. I expected you to be a captain or something the way you're speaking, but I suppose that with amassing forces of this magnitude, that hiding such information is impossible.
He says, well, yes, it's been quite the undertaking, and we're only willing to talk to you about it because you're the one that, encouraged us to do this in the first place. And while I'm not a captain per se, my captain was the one that you talked to in the first place, and I was in the room, so he recognizes you, and you can recognize him. He was the guy behind the captain, and you're like, oh yeah, the guy that was not the captain.
Oh, Brilbra, do you know if the Drow were any of them citizens of the city, or if they were all invaders?
He says they were certainly not citizens, at least that we know of, but they weren't invading per se. It was just a retinue of them that was visiting. Drow visit Stormreach on occasion, and generally there's a retinue of them because not a lot of people trust them. So Drow walking by themselves is not very healthy for Drow, so they tend to go around in groups. Sometimes they're small groups and sometimes large. The group that came this evening, or earlier this evening, was over 100. And they came in, in groups of like 10 to 15. But yeah, in total there was over 100 of them.
Otherwise, they break out in rashes of stab wounds.
If you say so, sir.
Well,
And
Don,
were there any survivors at all, or was every drug killed?
So far, the reports are that there are at least 70 drow corpses amongst those that have been counted, and there are still more reports coming in.
And we have no reports of who was actually in the gathering today.
In what? In
In their procession. Was there anybody important? Was there, you know what I mean? Or was it just drow commoners?
The guard don't know. Pretty much it seems like as soon as the drow got there that they were attacked. It was like within half an hour. So it's very unlikely that if they were here for something that they achieved whatever they were here for. And it is very likely that whoever attacked them, i.e. the sewer serpents, knew that they were coming.
well, my path seems clear. I'll go secure a apothecary, whatever it's called, place where they make potions.
Yeah.
And see if there's any anti-venom or antitoxin that I can purchase for the guards.
Yes, there is much antitoxin that is available. And, because you're going to be helping out the guard, it'll be the same cost as a generic healing potion to get.
Do they have healing potions?
Yeah. Of pretty much all varieties, most of the varieties. We're level, 11 now, so you can have pretty much any of them. But, the higher level ones cost more. If you want to know exactly how much, I will just look that up while we're chatting amongst ourselves here. So...
Yeah, so Silas would certainly like a few healing potions.
Okay. Cool, yeah, you can definitely have some healing potions. Second here. Where are we? Potions. Okay, let me find. Yep. Okay, so the varieties that are available are normal, which is 2d4 plus 2, which are 50 gold. The greater healing, which is 4d4 plus 4. You can have them for an uncommon price. I'll tell you what that is. Superior, which is 8d4 plus 8. Those are what's available. And as far as what they cost, the greater is uncommon and the superior is rare. Greater is uncommon. common, which is 101 gold, and the superior is 501 gold. Don't ask me why there's a 1. You can take it off if you like. Make it 100 and 500. I don't mind.
I like having to have to pay an extra.
An extra 1 gold. Fine, I'll pay an extra 1 gold.
It's the tax.
Yeah.
And all right. Have we made money? Because I haven't had any.
Have we made money? Well, there's a bunch of coins that we have, that Don has, that we've gotten through treasures and other things.
Well, because up till now we've just been assuming that we have money. You know what I mean? Kind of ish.
Well, I did give us out money at the start of the campaign, and I have given us treasure each time. And we did just get funded, like the session before last, for I think it was 10,000.
Well, I would like a couple of the medium ones, and then two. So two of the medium ones. That's 300 gold.
Yeah, by all means.
No, it's 400 gold. Yeah, so that's what Silas is wanting, and we know that Mr. Bones wants some attacks.
Yeah, and I'm willing for you to have the cure poison for 50 gold each, which is it's a fair discount. Cool. All right. So.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, our voice got broken for some reason. I don't know why. Leaving and rejoining fixed it. Carry on.
Cool. Sometimes technology. Yeah, so we kind of know what's going on, in the sense that we definitely know that this gang of serpent people have attacked these drow, and that they knew that they were coming, and that it was very recent. We also know that we've got plenty of money to buy resources, and anything else that you want to buy, go ahead and just do it. You can assume that you can, as long as you have the money for it. If you're not sure about values for things, let me know what you're after and we'll make that happen. Otherwise, what is it that we actually want to do? It's pretty late at night now, coming close to 11 o'clock. So, yeah.
So we're to be expected to raid one of these layers of this stronghold, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When do they want that to be done by?
Well, considering it was our idea, it's our idea as we can trigger it whenever.
Okay. So I guess it kind of depends on how quickly we want to do that. You know, I mean, that's what's us.
Don's all for doing our part in clearing out the infestation.
Faction is all for clearing out the infestation as well. His next stop, and he'll announce this loudly, is to go to the city guard, captain of the guard, and ask them about their preparation, what their plans are.
Okay. So the captain of the guard. 1 second here while I just. Where are we? I'm just looking up information, so go ahead with whatever you want to do. You'll be in Silverwall. Yeah, so you can talk to Hanlon the Brick. It looks like that's who it is. Captain of the Guard. So yeah, you can go and talk to him.
Alright, so what does the building look like for the guard quarters?
It's basically a mini fort. So it has a little tower, it has ramparts.
Alright. So it's up to the others whether or not they came with Bastion or if they had other things to do and they want to meet up later. But Bastion will go ahead and walk up to the fort, essentially, and push his way into the doors. And while he will stop if stopped by a guard, he'll act as if he belongs there. And he will beeline straight for the guard captain's office.
Yeah, they'll just let you in. I think there's... While there are other Warforged, there's none exactly like you are. You're pretty easily recognizable, and your description's been handed out amongst the guards. So they'll just let you in.
Excellent. I've already corrupted their security. Soon the city will be...
Absolutely. Yeah, so,
Bastion will say, Hanlon, a Brit. I've returned, and I've invested some of my personal funds into the safety of your guards. And he puts a crate of about 15 antitoxins onto his desk. He says, I want these handed out for the men on the front lines. You want to use poison, and having countermeasures is essential.
he says your assistance in this matter will not go unnoticed. And he puts the donation into his books, and he orders for 3 page boys to basically come and take 5 each to ferry to various parts of the city.
Alright, I understand that there was an attack by Drow, or attack by a UNT on the Drow, and that seems to reflect poorly on your ability to protect your citizens and people who come here for trade. Are you pushing the plans forward to invade the UNT's base ahead of schedule, or where are we sitting?
He says, we currently, as we speak, we have enough, we've organized enough that at any point that you want to trigger that attack, we'll be ready. Obviously, we'll need, a couple of hours notice. We can't just, all of a sudden gather everyone, but everyone's ready to be gathered. I suggest, 8 hours notice. Make sure everyone's got time, but everyone's ready to be summoned and everyone's ready to act. We've at least managed to facilitate that while you've been away.
May suggest that we attack at dawn. They may have a change of the guard that will show weakness to their defenses.
Very well, we can make that happen. It's only about 6 hours away, but that's okay. We can make that happen. Yeah, all right. He immediately will get to making sure that will happen in the slightly shorter time frame.
Excellent. Bastion will drum his fingers and will say, "What can I do to assist you with your preparation?"
Well, these potions will definitely be helpful on that front. The best thing that I think you could do is actually to go to the library and see if you can find any blueprints of the sewer network, so that we have a better idea of what we might be coming up against and if there's defensible positions and things like that. They've probably set up more since they've been there, but if we at least know what was there to begin with, that would be helpful.
I'll see what I can do.
Excellent.
Books. All right, so Bastion will darn it, this is a place where Felice would be amazing.
I mean, you have like a writ from the guard saying that you have access, and there's librarians that can help you.
Yes, I'll accept their assistance. Bastion will head to the library then, and he will communicate with the others about where he's going, what's happening. He'll have a messenger sent to the inn that we reside at
Mm-hmm.
to stay there all night and watch for the members of the party and inform them of where he's gone, what he's doing, and where they can come to facilitate in assisting with the attack.
All right. Yeah. So that note goes out.
Yeah, Silas would be very willing to help. With this, mapping of the sewers for the most part.
Yeah. Well, the more hands you've got to search for it, the quicker it will take. So, I mean, the librarian knows where all of the maps are, but they're not exactly. They're in piles. So just going through the piles of old blueprints to find the ones that you're looking for, and especially because there's multiple layers. And these are sort of old and misplaced, some of them, so you have to sort of go looking a bit. So the more people that just say, I'm going to go and look, it'll decrease the time by like an hour. So otherwise it'll take about, with the librarian's help, probably take, let's say it would take 2 hours, and every person that joins the search will reduce by 15 minutes each. So already we've got Bastion and a librarian, so that's like an hour and a half. Silas, so an hour 15. And if one more person joins the search, that makes it like an hour to find it, which is pretty good. Since you'll probably need sleep.
What does Dawn do during this time?
What's that?
What does Dawn do during this time?
Good question.
So, if you loop Dawn in on your at dawn plans, he would consult with Bastion. He's like, maybe I could call on some of my allies at the elemental plane to assist us. Perhaps George.
George, you say? They have names?
Well, everybody has names. Just have to ask politely and in the correct way.
I've never asked Rock. He's a rock, right?
George is George is a fire elemental.
Ooh. Glad he can't hear me.
Yeah, that's pretty offensive.
Do you think that George has enough friends to take on one of the layers by himself? Or how do you recommend that George and friends, and Bastion uses quotation marks with his fingers, assist?
Well, I can only really, my focus is only such that I can keep one elemental on this plane at a time. So I was thinking that George could come and we could do a kind of a double team, tag team thing, and Don will take on a double dragon stance, but with half of it missing, because that's where George would obviously be standing.
I've seen what you can do, and your aid would be. I look forward to it.
All right, Don will consult Bastion a little bit more to figure out we're at a good place to be to make a giant bonfire for 10 minutes just before we jump into.
Yeah, like the Forge district is probably the best, unless you want to do it outside of town. But inside of town, the Forge district.
Sure. Gather up some of that dead wood, make some firewood.
Yep.
Elves are pretty much trees, right?
Right, yeah.
That might not do so well. Although there would be some ironic justice to use a funeral pyre from the dead drow in making the fire elemental. If that's what they're doing.
Probably they're being investigated. Yeah. So without express permission from the guard, you probably wouldn't be allowed to burn the corpses just yet.
That's okay. That'd be more of taking advantage of an existing fire. Don's more than happy to use some of the fires from the Forge District. More of a leveraging what's already there.
Cool. Sounds good to me. So yeah, we're in Forge Light. Let me copy our tokens real quick, and I'll just quickly show us the map again of Stormreach, just so that we have at least some idea of where things are and what's going on. So Forge Light is over here, and it has the foundry, which is where we'd be lighting the fire and stuff. Because it's just on the edge there and not too close to the trees, and got plenty of access to water and what's not, so it's the best place.
Alright, so Bastion knows what he's doing. In the hours that precede If he can't assist with the guards, he will be patrolling the streets nearby.
All right. If you patrol streets, you will see signs of continued cleanup. Most of the cleanup has kind of been facilitated, but there's still dregs here and there. If you want to look closer, you can. I don't know if you want to do that sort of investigation or not, but it's up to you.
Bastion isn't the brightest bulb when it comes to investigation. His concerns is not stepping on the bodies. He'll let the experts do the investigation.
Yeah, cool. Not a worry. Yeah, well, you'll just see that. You won't see any more attacks, certainly. People are staying indoors. Pretty much, you will see... I mean, a lot of people close their shutters at the night time anyway, but a lot more have closed their shutters than usual tonight. Beyond that, there's nothing really unusual.
The city is safer because I'm here.
Yeah. Certainly.
Wow. Yeah, so I'm all for. Are we starting this encounter in the morning? Is that what?
At dawn,
Or
or
just
just
in
before dawn.
in a morning?
No, yes, this dawn coming. Is...
Okay. Yeah. So Silas will get himself together, and be back at the inn. He writes a letter to his family, telling him about some of his travels, so on and so forth, and inquiring on the health of the children. And yeah, meditate some to the Phoenix before bed. That's about it.
Okay. So while you're meditating,
Mm-hmm.
um, you feel different inside. Trying to figure out. Could you mute for a second?
Oh yes.
You're right. So, so last time, when you attuned to this glaive, you experienced these plumb scales covering your body, and your armor class went up. Now, they're still there, and for the first time since then, I'm gonna just narrate that this is the first time you've had a chance to fully meditate to the Phoenix.
Yes.
And when you meditate to the Phoenix, normally you feel like a nice, pleasant warmth inside. It's like it feels pure normally, pure and warm and friendly and nice. And when you've centered your thoughts on an enemy, it'll like flare up in fire. When you meditate this night, it feels uncomfortable hot instead of nice. And it feels like the warmth inside you cannot get out of these scales that now cover your body. It's kind of like an internal yet external feeling. It's really awkward to both explain and to feel. I
Do I feel warmer
Yes.
and like to the touch?
No. You actually feel colder to the touch. The scales are actually cool.
Okay. And are they large scales or are they like fish?
Um,
You
I'd.
know, like a large dragon scale, or are they in?
What are the size of American coins? I imagine that there's a few of them.
Yes, the smallest coin is a dime, and the largest coin is probably from I don't know.
Let's call it the same size as the largest coin that you have.
All right, so it's a quarter that we regularly use. Okay, so that's a big yeah. So all right. And what color are these?
Plum.
Yeah, because he's been hiding them. Are they covering his face as well?
Yes.
Hmm. Um,
The ones on your face, though, are less sizable
yeah,
because, you have to move your face.
right. How much has it cut down on my mobility at all?
None.
None. Okay. So I felt physically warmer,
Inside,
and
yes.
yeah, inside, yeah. And
And
did the feeling of the phoenix feel the same, like more standoffish?
no, there's no standoffishness, but it feels like it can't get out of you. Like you can't release it. It's like you trying to like fart and you just can't. It's just uncomfortable. Or when you go to sneeze and it just won't happen and it's just that feeling. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's like
That's the
that.
worst feeling ever.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's like
worst.
that. But
All right. I uncomfortably go to bed then, I guess. One thing that he's going to be very interested in, maybe it's a tonight thing. He would like to find a shop where he could find a mask per se. Um, Something to maybe cover his face some, so that the scales may not be as recognizable.
mhm.
He has full covering armor, so that's not a problem really.
I'm pretty sure there was a hat of disguise in the party too. But yeah, look, you can get whatever you want. You can even
Okay.
uh, you know get a hat of disguise specifically that looks like Silas's face. I don't whatever you want, man.
No, I'm not so stressed out on that. I just would like to be able. Well, I'm thinking about it because I'm wearing armor now. I guess I would just have a helmet fashion per se, maybe with something with the way fin.
All
That'd be
right,
great.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
nice winged helm that sort of has
yeah.
the nose plate and covers up some of those scales. Sure.
Mhm. 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 All right. Yeah, that works. And yeah, so he would be preparing for the next day.
Cool. Lana,
Thank you for
what's
that.
Lana doing now that she's visited Edith?
Probably making her way home, or back to the Manticore. So
Okay.
she'd say goodnight to Edith and go regroup with
I can
everybody.
barely hear her.
I think she's slightly away from the mic.
Close clubs. Lana is saying her goodbyes to Edith and wishing her a well night, and she will head back to the Manticore in the hopes to learn more about what's going on and see who's there and whatnot.
So there's a letter waiting for you, Lana.
Ew.
Oh, I heard there's a little waiting, and I'm going, what?
There's a little
And then it
Lana
clicked.
waiting for you.
There's a
Okay, cool.
letter. A note.
Who's it from?
It is in the hand of Fayella.
Okay, she's excited, so she'll rip that open as she go. And she will start reading it. So, what news does Fiella bring?
Dearest Lana, if you were unaware before, I've been making sure that your mailbox has been empty. Don't want it to fill up too much. Been looking after your household while Rin's been away, and I have forwarded your mail to his last known location, but it's probably going to take a little bit of time to get there, being that it's the other side of Corvair. Please be patient while he gets back to you. In the meantime, things are good here in Shan. Not. The nightmares have been getting worse. Every day, people come to the temple to seek for different ways that they can be rid of them. Many of these children that have been having these nightmares are now not just waking up screaming or talking in different languages and voices, but some of them are even acting out. They've begun sleepwalking, for want of a better word, and sleep acting as far as, walking around and stabbing random people. It's been very disturbing. You're probably lucky that Rin left when he did.
Retarding have killed us in our sleep.
And she sort of goes on and she says, "I hope, I was glad to receive your letter. It's nice to hear from you. I hope you don't mind that I did open it, to make sure that so I could hear from you. And like I said, I've sent it onwards to the Talenta Plains, where Rin left for, but exactly where he is, I'm not sure. What I do know is that he's out and about. He's not going to be in a city or settlement. The extended family that he went to visit were nomads, so don't expect a reply very soon.
Oh, right.
What the heck?
Sorry, I silenced my phone. Yeah, I was like, okay, she's, at least it's something. It's definitely kind of this, like, what? Not quite what I was expecting. I wanted Rin to have gotten the letter, but at the same time, I feel like she'd probably be impressed with how quickly she got a reply. So
Well, you've
that's
been gone
something.
nearly a fortnight. Keeping that in mind, it took about a week to get to the Honeycomb Caverns and a week to get back.
All right. Yeah, that she's gonna look around. Does she see anybody there in the common waiting area? And if no one's there, she'll go check upstairs in rooms. Just be like, hello.
Well, yeah. I mean, Felice will be there. She seems pretty distracted. And if you talk to her, she'll.
What did you learn about about what's going on?
It's always snakes.
She says, while you went and visited Edith, I came back here, and and it seems that the Fae King has had a bit of a relapse. So I went and visited him real quick, and he's pretty much forgotten us already. He didn't really recognize me. He had some glimmer of recognition when I talked about some of the things that we talked about, but doesn't look like things are especially good for him right now. But he seems like he's in good health, and being looked after. But I don't know. being stuck for so long under those runes and what's not must have, I don't know, addled him, and I don't know. I guess the shock of coming into the world so many millennia after your own time would be... I can't even imagine, she says.
Yeah. What about with the drow? Like, what happened there?
I've...
Like, from what I heard, it all started around 8 p.m. Tonight. So.
She says, to be honest, I sort of stayed out of it. It didn't seem safe. I've heard the whispers on the streets about what's going on. It seems like the sewer serpents and the drow have some bad blood. I'm not surprised, I suppose, she says.
Okay.
I don't...
Did the guys come back yet, or are they still out investigating? Okay.
Again, she's like, I'm sorry, I haven't really... No one else has come into my room to chat, she says. I mean, I've kind of just been in here,
Okay.
I don't know, trying to figure things out, she says.
No, fine.
And, you know, she says, look, I don't really feel up to coming into the sewers in the morning.
To be honest, nor do I. But there's, I don't know, from, whatever, Ball or whoever that was that we've been told about. It's like, if there's Yuan-Ti in here, maybe they have a way of knowing her, especially with that one that we did encounter, but...
She says,
Yes.
you know what, that's actually a really good idea. How about in the morning when you go down into the sewers, I'll go to the library and I'll see what I can find out about this Vol character.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Hopefully there's something, but I'm guessing that, I don't know if this gang really has anything directly related, but maybe there's something. Anything will do the town good, since they don't. It seems like it's escalated.
Yeah, she says, I don't really know whether we can do anything locally, but certainly if we can find out more about this Vol character, maybe there's something in here about a weakness or some old battles or something that we can get some clues about how we might defeat her. I mean, it sounds like she's...
Isn't there something about phylacteries that, if she's been dealt with before, isn't there something with the liches that, they can't die because of their phylactery?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can see if I can...
If she's dealt with her before, maybe there's... I don't know, clues, but yeah, I think you're probably the better one for that. I'm not very good at reading yet. I'm good, but not your level of good. You just seem to really...
I don't know, Lana, she says. You're a very talented young woman. We're both talented in our own areas, I guess. Yeah, look, I'll do some reading, and while you go and deal with them, I'm just not... Sorry, she says. I'm just not really feeling up to it, and I think that my talents are probably better used in this venture anyway.
Yes. Whoever makes you comfortable. Anything really, it'll all piece together, I'm sure. I'm gonna go back downstairs and I'm going to wait for the guys to show up, I guess, and figure out what we're doing. Because I don't really want to go out and about with all that yuck out in the street. So, anyways, I'll be downstairs.
All right. Well,
and Lana will return down. She'll try and get a meal and whatnot, and just hang out in the common area, just kind of paying attention to people moving in and out, or at least kind of every time she notices movement, we'll look up to be like, oh, is that one of our people? Nope, okay.
I think that
And
by the sounds of it, Bastion's probably going to be patrolling the streets most of the night. Don and Silas will probably come back to the tavern if they're not here already and sleep for a little while, I'm guessing, before the morning.
yep, and basically, like when one of them walks in, she's like, "Hey, so, uh, what's up with the draft?" Like, all I found out was that there was a ruckus starting around 8 o'clock.
Well, the Yeon T, the sewer serpents, have been attacking the drow, or well, did an attack on the drow, one of the groups in the town,
But
and
huh,
yeah, no, we said the same
maybe
thing
these
too.
aren't the drow that are working for that one lady.
Or maybe
So we're told.
she just because she's working with both of them doesn't mean they're working together either, I guess.
Ooh, yeah, favoritism can play a big.
So, in amongst this, Bastion would be able to come back and report something that he's found as well, because he's been, walking around town and perhaps he's seen, even though he's sort of been avoiding the crime scenes, something that he'll be able to report to you that's information that we didn't have just yet is that none of the drow that were found had any weapons on them. If they were wielding weapons, the weapons have been taken and not by the guard. They must have been taken by the U1T, or by the sewer serpents. If they were wielding weapons in the first place.
Did the drow have armor?
Some of them did, yes. So there was a mix. There was a mix of heavy, light, and medium, and no armor as well. So, because there was over 100 of them, so there were some that were wearing armor and some that were not.
It's that point that Bastion would find that highly suspectable, because it's one thing to walk around with a weapon, but to walk around with armor means that you're looking for trouble.
But armor with no weapon?
Armor with no weapon is just like, that's like a gun with no bullets.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe they're in trouble, but they're gonna
run away. So
maybe-
Bastion will bring that up, and he'll say, essentially the clue of the drow were dressed. They had various armor, some with, some without, but none of them had weapons. The guards didn't confiscate any or find any. I find that highly suspect. Drow weapons disintegrate in sunlight, or are they unarmed for a reason?
Well, they arrived by night, so the weapons wouldn't have seen sunlight for one, and you would know that having fought the drow that we did the other day, the other week, that certainly their weapons didn't evaporate in the sunlight, nor when we killed them.
All right. Bastion will ask around with the guards and see if any of them noticed weapons on the drow when they were still alive.
They report a suspicious lack of weapons, any weapons.
Huh.
However, it's pretty clear from the scenes that they did put up a fight.
Don will suggest, just because they don't have weapons now doesn't mean they didn't when they entered the city. Maybe the sewer serpents took them.
That's what the guards are thinking happened as well.
Don will high-five the nearest guard. Yeah.
Now, I did say that Bastion would be investigating them, but this is stuff that even he can't overlook. Do the drow show any signs of physical combat where there's like flesh underneath the nails if they scratch someone, or broken skin on the knuckles if they punch someone? or does it seem like that is fairly missing?
Right. So what I'll tell you is this: if the corpses or bodies are searched, the best and quickest way for me to describe is to say that at least one of each class, as in character class, was represented as far as what armors and weapons they would normally be wielding. So there would have been some sorcerers, some mages, some wizards, some clerics, some monks, some paladins, some fighters, and each of them had the armor and well, not weapons because the weapons were gone, but it can be assumed based on what equipment they do still have on them that they were fulfilling that role within their groups. That's the easiest and quickest way to say. So there's all types of
That
armor,
makes sense.
and it looks like potentially at least some of them had weapons, and some of them were fighting with legs and arms, much like a monk would, because there were monks among them.
Amongst them.
Yes.
All right. And Bastion will communicate this with the group. He'll say, I have no idea what's going on here. Maybe the citizens stole it, but with the way that they're shut in, I doubt that they would be bold enough to go onto essentially a battlefield to scavenge drow weapons.
It seems very unlikely.
Were there any dead Yuan-Ti that were found?
No.
Huh.
Which is also highly suspicious. Because the drow clearly put up a fight.
Bastion will ask the guards how they knew that the Yuan-Ti made the attack.
They found scales on the scenes. And weapons with poison and other such thing. Hmm?
Or weapons presumably used by the Yuan-Ti because it has their poison.
Yeah. It's not consistent with drow poison at all.
Interesting. Why would they take the drow weapons but not their own? I would think they would take both if they were trying to like arm themselves or gather weaponry or something.
So
something specific with drow weapons.
So there was poison on the scene, but no weapons on the scene. So they.
Oh.
So, yeah. Apologies. So, the poison is definitely not of drow design. There were no weapons left. There's not very much evidence at all. But the scales, were cut and bloody, like as if someone had cut into the flesh of one of these gutter serpents and spilled it on the ground. There would also be like corpses of actual serpents or snakes, not serpent people, but just snakes around the area. What else? Muddy or wet footprints leading back into the sewers. So all of the attacks happened in areas that were pretty much adjacent to sewer entrances. All of the evidence as far as footprints and signs of passage point to people coming out of the sewers and going back into the sewers.
I'm curious to see what the guards' investigation turns up with this. There's pieces that don't add up. Maybe you're right, though, Don. Maybe they are just trying to gather enough weapons for an attack.
Getting ready for a gang war. That must be it.
If you want to continue to patrol toward the end of the night, Bastian, just before dawn, you would get called into the guard office, and they will have found evidence of a UNT style weapon that was lost or discarded, but there's only one of them that has been found.
Bastion would examine it and compare it to the one that he found previously on the guy he knocked out.
It's of the same style and material.
And he'll confirm that for the guards.
They suspected as much, but they thank you.
Alright, well, Bastion's geared up to go. Does anyone else have any other business they want to take care of?
Ready to take out some snakes.
I'm ready to.
How can you sleep like a time like this?
I'm tired. Traveled all day.
That's a good point.
I mean, you could get a couple of hours in at least. And
I was about to get a couple hours.
so the main side of the investigation finished at about 11 o'clock, and we're starting at about 5, so that's 6 hours of sleep. That's pretty good. Like, I'm not going to give you levels of fatigue or any of that shit, put it that way.
Yeah, so I'm cozy. She'll probably poke in this room. 5 a.m. wake up call, at least for us. Bye, good night.
Lisa's like, I was asleep.
She'll remember that, probably. Alright, so we'll head down to the sewers then.
Head to bed is what he said.
Okay,
All right.
bed and then the sewers.
Ready for the gun.
So, any final preparations?
None here.
Good.
Bastion's good.
Alright.
I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Cool.
Lana's ready.
Lana's ready. Okay, and let me take us. Now, I haven't done a. I haven't done the obscuring map thing or fog of war for this. So any walls that you see, you can't see through to the other side. Obviously. And any barriers that you see are barriers. So please just respect that. I haven't done all of the fancy stuff. But basically, as I explained last time, you have to dive into the water and come up the other side. to get into the sewers.
That's all you
Cool.
Corey.
Yeah. Can we take a couple minutes and use the restroom?
Yep.
Thanks.
Got a few minutes, guys. I'll put us on the Be Right Back screen. Yeah, we'll call it just a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. Alright, I'll mute this. Welcome back, guys, to Return to Eberron, Cult of the Godseed. We are on our way into the sewers. Yes, you may cast aid. The sewers of Stormreach. To get...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But the aid is level 4, so everyone gains 15 hit points.
Alright, so to do that, click on your tokens, and in the green circle, just put plus 15, and it will actually put your HP over your maximum, which is exactly what we want.
It actually increases the maximum HP.
I
so
know,
you take
but
damage
I know, but if we go into the actual thing and increase our maximum, we'll forget that it was by aid. So we'll just remember that you've got 15 extra for overhealing purposes. The other thing that I could do is put it into the blue box. But yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Alright. We'll real quick do that. Any other preparations that we're undertaking?
The fire elemental for Dawn, unless you already have it on there.
I do not. I'll grab that.
Thank you.
Bastion will also cast another spell. This one is Spirit Guardians, level 3. Has a duration of concentration and up to 10 minutes.
Okay.
I'd probably wait on that till we get to our first.
It takes 10 minutes for the spell to expire. Bastion looks at you and he says, but they're on the other side. What if they have guards, or who knows what we'll run into? I'm sure it could be an underground that this is the place. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. It's a simple spell. I can cast it many times.
It's a simple spell. Yeah, it's quite unbreakable.
I'm just gonna quickly go back. You guys won't see me do this, but the recording will, to see if I've kept a copy of the fire giant token. Yes, I have. There we go. And I thought that I might have. So put that back here. And then I need to change this to be also save. And you're now calling him what? George?
Yes, today's fire elemental is George.
And he also has the aid, I'm guessing?
No, you can't target that with people.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, you should be able to move George around.
It's George too.
I'm double checking the aid question.
So anywhere that's 5 feet, I'm pretty sure George will have to squeeze, right?
No, fire elementals have a special rule. They can move through a space as narrow as 1 inch without squeezing.
Oh. That's
I
cool.
guess they just kind of float.
That's very cool. I like it. Alright, well, he's all set up and ready to go. Okay, guys. Well, let's do this. Having dived into the relatively clean waters of the sewer, 2 other sewers that you've seen in your travels, you come up the other side and you find yourself in a series of tunnels that obviously have traces of wetness, dampness, moistness, if you like that word, and the stone is a greenish, has a greenish tinge to it. It's definitely different to anywhere else in Stormreach. And it doesn't look entirely natural. In fact, as you look around, you do see covering the roof or ceiling of these tunnels are sort of really long worms that are glowing. They're actually like snakes, but they're the size of really big worms or really small snakes, if you like. But they're quite long, and they're trailing above, and they're glowing this green color. You think that if they weren't there, that it wouldn't have this color, but you also think that without them there, you wouldn't be able to see anything. It would be pitch dark. You are in low light for the entire place, and they cause no ill effects. So it's just this green color lighting. Yeah. And the...
So I do have a minor point to bring up. Dawn may have made a terrible choice of elemental. Fire elementals take damage when they're in water. 1 point per 5 feet.
Okay, so while you are not directly in water, you'll be okay. There's moistness, dampness on all of the walls, and hence the floor, but it's not water. It's just dampness. There are...
I was thinking we had to go underwater to get here.
Right, so if you came underwater, then that would have done damage to him to get here. But what, per 5 feet, you said?
Yeah.
And how much damage was it per 5 feet?
1.
1 damage per 5 feet? Well, he takes 30 damage.
All right. It's quarter down. He's steamy George now.
He doesn't look especially happy.
I wouldn't. Donna's bashful. Maybe he'll be trying better next.
Maybe when going into a sewers, have a different form of element. But there are only a couple of areas in here beyond this plot point that will be of an issue to him, and I'll point those out as we go. But most of it is just dampness, and he's not going to get damaged from that. So it was quite a swim to get in here. You had to hold your breath, but everyone was able to do that. There was no check required, but just narrating that you had to hold your breath, and it felt a little bit uncomfortable when you came up, except for Bastian, who doesn't care.
And Don, who has the cloak of swim underwater.
All right, yeah. So you also don't have to. But yeah, for the rest of you, it was a little bit uncomfortable, but you weren't like gasping or anything like that. For everything else, if you've ever been into, I'll just wait for them. There we go. If you've ever been into a cave, like cave diving, and there's the sort of wetness on the walls, that's what this whole place is. Beyond that, I'll just describe things as we see them. So it's a long passage. You can see it's low light. You can see all the way down to this chamber to the south, which is an octagonal chamber, and you see that there are various snake people guards, UNT guards. There are melee guards and ranged guards behind them. They seem to be guarding a very strange device, which is here in the center. Basically what you see is a pulsating device that holds eggs. The eggs are at each of the points that you can see there. So they're like pods. And the pods are pulsating, and also the central I guess pod is also pulsating, but there you can see that there are lifeless or life creating forms inside these pods, but they are not fully formed yet. So these UNT are growing reinforcements here inside of these pods. Upon seeing you emerge from the waters, they are immediately on the defensive, immediately wielding their weapons. Beyond that, the only other thing of note is that wherever there are these kind of like wavy lines, so they're not stairs, but it's sort of like a ramp kind of areas. They kind of come down or up depending, and you're actually on a higher level, so these ones go to a lower level. It dips down to here, so both sides sort of dip down to that level, and the one down here again just dips down, but it's not far enough that you can't still see down there. It's just a short ramp, and there are longer ramps further on in this place. And if you can see, when you get to the area, to this gap here, you'll be able to see that there is a vat, I guess, for want of a better word, a cauldron of water that is too high to look into, but you can hear water within that. So that's what you can see. You guys can clearly see that these figures down here have seen you, and they are on the defensive. What do you wish to do?
Bastion will take the dodge action and advance.
Okay. Go ahead and move yourself to wherever you would like to be within your movement range. The voices call out and they say, "You have entered our sacred ground. you proceed, your lives will be taken and sacrificed to the devourer.
Not if we take your lives first.
You can try. So it's probably a good enough time to call for an initiative.
Sounds like permission to me. We're not muted.
Lana is definitely going to stay in the back.
Oops. Okay, so
Yeah, you're gonna.
there's
I
how
kind of.
13. Where's my tracker here?
Hey, it worked.
Add turn. Add turn. Add turn. Add turn. And we've got 13. 13. And what was it? 2? Yeah. 4.
That's what she's going to.
So it looks like Lana, Silas, enemies, Don, George, Malisons, and Bastions. Yep. Okay, so that's everybody. Alright, Lana, looks like you're first to act. You just emerge from the sewer. You can see what you can see. What do you want to do?
Yep. Lana's going to be, like, just kind of walk up right behind Silas as she's pulling out her poison dagger, and she's going to use her action to activate it, and as it's activated, it's like, so, I think this is like that crypt.
So you pulled out your dagger.
I'm sorry. It was hard to hear her again.
So, Lana's coating her dagger in poison, and as that's happening, she's walking up behind Silas and will be like, "Do you think this is gonna be anything like the crypt?"
No, I think this is going to be a joyous experience, Lana.
She cocks her head and goes, "Ha! Sarcasm."
Yes, yes. Are you ready? And
Waves
go
her
ahead.
leg. Yeah, that's what her turn. Just gonna stick behind and close to.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out a little bit, but that's cool. You're staying back there.
Yep, that's all she's doing for her turn.
Okay, Silas, you're up.
All right, so Silas will. Well, we're really far from them.
Yep. Welcome to the sewers.
Yes, absolutely. Now, are these walls that here, like where that theoretically elemental stand on top of? Or are they not?
Yes, that is a wall.
Okay.
I just didn't have time to make all of the occlusion.
Yeah. No, you're fine, buddy. So what I have here is I'm gonna move up into this little nook and take the dodge action. We are far too far away to try to get to them.
All right.
So, actually, wait a minute. Maybe I'll do something different. All right, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
So, oops. So, this creature, how far away is that from me?
45.
What is the distance on that? Come on. Man, I can't wait to get that second monitor. Look at this. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that because I can't get close enough to do anything. So yeah, so I'll just start. I'll go here and take the dodge action.
Okay.
Sorry.
No need to apologize. Okay, they move in that fashion and also take the dodge action. Don, you're up.
Brave combat. Don is going to. Sorry, I'm moving the screen a little thing.
Yeah, you might need to zoom out a little bit.
It's the touch screen controls.
Oh.
So I think Don will just move forward to if you would 30 feet forward. A steady advance, a walk move, so 30 feet, and gesture to George. To the fore, combat awaits. His eyes is full of fire and vigor of the anticipation of combat. And he'll, for his action, he'll use his cantrip to throw a ball of fire that conjures forth in his hand at the. Is there anything in view of him?
Yeah, just these.
Let's see, let me double check the range, but it should be within range.
You could also throw it at the
30
pods.
feet range. Ooh, the pods. Oh, right, in the center of the room. Is that within 30 feet?
Maybe. Not sure exactly. Let's see.
It was 45 feet to where the first people were from where I was.
Yeah.
All right, so if it's out of range of Don, he'll just produce the flame and hold on to it. He won't throw it.
Okay. Yeah.
And George's move is 50.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll just move. That'll be the end of Don's turn. George will move his full move, but I think that'll put him right there.
Okay.
And that's as he can go.
Excellent.
He flickers with anticipation, mirroring Don's own excitement.
Nice. And the archers will attack twice each. And I guess that they're going to target George since he's kind of obscuring the corridor.
George, you need to go on a diet.
Alright. Should only have to do this. So, it'll be... So they've each got 2 ranged attacks. So... I've got a crit, a 24, a 14, and an 8. So I'm guessing that he's probably got 14 armor class, is that?
His 13 armor class, he does have some damage resistances.
Okay. So, okay. What are his damage resistances?
Bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical.
Yep.
He's also immune to fire and poison.
Immune to poison?
Yes.
Okay. So...
And a few condition immunities too, but I'll bring that up as they come up.
Alright, so he'll only take the piercing damage, and it will be half whatever I roll. 2. And so, and then plus 8 for the crit. So that's the first one, second one, and the third one. So, looks like 16 hard for 8, 3 hard for 2, and 10 hard for 5, for a total of 18, 23.
All right. He's damaged. Would you mind marking that for me, Mary? Uh, 11. We're level 11.
Yeah.
That was, you said 18, I believe?
So it was 8, 9, 5. So should be 14. Sorry if I said anything else. 1. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Sorry for making you do that twice.
No, it's okay. All right. So they've all shot. Bastien, you're up.
Alright. So Bastion marches forward with his move action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. After that, he will hold up his hand and he will say, "You will be smitten." And he casts Sacred Flame on one of the archers.
Okay.
I need a dexterity saving throw.
Oh yeah. I pass.
That is
Apparently, they just like see the sacred flame and they just slither out of the way.
what? Impossible! Oh, it's on target.
You definitely
And
were
that's-
until they rolled a natural 20. Oh man. Cool. So is that all you would like to do? For now?
That is the end of Bastion's turn.
Lana, you're up again. You have your poison dagger primed and ready.
And she will be marching forward as soon as I can control her. Because, yeah, hey, Don, I'm just going to hang out here next to you. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And she will ready an attack. Yeah, she's going to ready attack. And just, if they suddenly just swarm them or something, she's going to slice at whatever Yuan-Ti creature gets near her.
Alright. So if something comes near you, that's your trigger, right?
Yes.
Okay. Silas.
Enemies.
Yes, clearly. You're not attacking your allies. Silas, you're muted.
No, I know. Will I be able to pass the fire elemental without being burned?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, with the fire elemental, you have to touch it or hit it, or it has to move into you for you to take.
Also, it's an ally, and
Alright.
I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah, totally cool. I'm actually gonna move one space forward. And then I'm gonna cast Compel Duel on this guy right here.
Can you see? Let's...
I have it. Hold on one second. Bam. So it's 15 wisdom.
Okay. I don't. Yeah. Okay. I'll take it from there. 15 wisdom.
Or can I not see him?
No, it's light, so you can see him.
Okay.
And his wisdom modifier is +0. Well, he failed.
Alright, so he has disadvantage on all attack rolls other than me, and must make a wisdom throw each time he attempts to move a space that is more than 30 feet away from me.
Okay.
So he can't retreat at this point. And yeah, fun.
Okay.
And there's other things. Spell ends if any other attacker. Well, if you attack, if I attack any other creature besides him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's my dude.
So.
And that's it. Right, yeah, no, that's a bonus action. How nice. So I am going to take out my hand crossbow and shoot at him.
Yep. You need a 14. Yep.
Okay. I will shoot a second. Oh wait, no, I can't because I don't have that crossbow master anymore. I'm so used to doing that. So yeah, so I reload and that's it.
Is that Compelled Duel a charm effect?
It is. I can look. I will get that information for you in 2 seconds.
Yeah, because it's their turn, and if it is a charm effect, then he's gonna get advantage on it.
I don't think so. It doesn't really say. Exactly what I is the text is what I have in there. So let's see.
Compelled disadvantage.
And that came right off of D&D Beyond, so that's, I mean, it's what it is, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just make sure that there's no. Yeah. Okay. And it doesn't say so. So just as with 5th edition for every other damn thing, we have no idea.
So then I guess it's not.
It's not.
Because it doesn't say it is.
Right, exactly. Yep. Cool. Then he's going to move to here, attempt to shove Bastian to get to you, Silas.
Okay.
Because he can't,
Aha!
unless Bastian,
well,
you
he
would.
can
So
attack with
as-
other people. He just has disadvantage against those attacks.
I know.
Also, as he enters the aura around Bastion, dwarfs spring into action, celestial and make, as they pummel him with their hammers and axes, dealing damage. This is due to spirit guardians. Also, his movement speed is half while he's within the 15 sphere of Bastion. So that would be 3d8 damage, and I'll need a save. I'm looking at the spell right now.
Man, 13 damage, 16 wisdom.
Wisdom save for half damage.
Alright, it takes full damage. Would you allow him to go past you, Bastian? And can you mute, please, Corey?
Oh, sorry, yeah. I'm sorry to do that.
I don't know why it replies on you as, but it does. Yeah, so would Bastian stand his ground and force a shove check, or will he allow the Broodguard to move through to attack Silas? And you're muted, so I might type it in just in case.
Sorry, if you were talking to one of us, basically what happened was my phone's been a little weird where Discord puts you and Corey really quiet randomly, so we disconnect and reconnected. So what did we miss the past 10 seconds? So
Right. So the Broodguard is trying to get past Bastian to attack Silas because he's being compelled to do so. Would Bastian try to stop him, which would require the Broodguard to make a shove attack, or would Bastian allow him to move past and attack Silas?
Bastion isn't being polite. He would stop.
Okay.
He would stop the human king.
Alright, do you want to make me a strength check then, please?
Alright, sure, I'll make the check. Is it a strength check or athletics?
Strength in this case.
Okay.
Oh, they're rolling so badly. Pretty sure. Oh, oh man. All right. So just barely he pushes you to there.
It's one of the things where Bastion tries to brace himself. He's ready. He's a wall of iron that can't be moved. As EOMT runs into him, his hill steps on a piece of poop and just slides backwards like a well-oiled machine.
All right, so that was instead of his bite attack, and now he's going to make two claw attacks against Silas. These are not very powerful enemies, by the way. They're just like mooks. And yeah, there's no way that he is hitting even anywhere close to Silas's armor at this stage. So he just flails with his claws.
Yeah, Silas just reaches up his shield and just pats everything away.
All right. This one is gonna come and try to attack George.
That enters Bastion's area, and he would take damage. I need a wisdom save. Do you want me to re-roll the damage on 3d8?
Yes, please.
Wow, Matt, you're on fire tonight, buddy.
um, 10 radiant damage. As dwarves just pound. I should do double damage on a crit fail, but I'm not gonna. Pound into him. But he does hit the elemental twice, so he'll take whatever damage that does as well. And so how much melee damage is it, Stephen, when someone melees?
I'm bringing it up. It 1d10.
Per hit or per round?
Let's see. A creature that touches the elemental or hits it with a melee attack while within 5 feet takes 1d10 fire damage.
All right, so roll 2d10.
So the way I interpret that is so the way I interpret that is just if they hit it while in that range, then they take the damage once, maybe.
Okay, I'm good with that. So, yeah, roll that damage for us, and George is taking half for 5, and then 3, which is 8. So 8 damage to George.
8 damage on George. No, George, no.
Okay, and then both of the brood guards have gone, and it's Don's turn.
All right. Let me. I gotta take Mary's space. Wow, quite the puddle we got going on here. Don's gonna rear his hand back and fling the living flame in his hand and an arc up and over into that closer of those 2 snake people. Let me see if I can click this button. Come on. Did that do it? Yeah. There we go.
You absolutely hit. For 16. Holy crap.
Yeah. The damage goes up as he gets in level. Since he's level 11, it's still in 3d8.
Ow.
And that was a solid, it looks like. Not much.
Yeah, well, he takes it. He's not looking very healthy, but he takes it.
Take that to your devourer. Then on... But Don's okay where he's standing. On to George's turn. And for George, he'll roar wordlessly as only a fire can before moving into and swirling around the Yuan-Ti as if a living bonfire of sorts. Mary, if you could roll 1d20 plus 6.
17.
That was a 17 to hit with his melee touch attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the damage for Mary, if it does hit, is going to be a 2d6 plus 3.
Yep.
2d6. So 5, 8.
8. Alright. So he is on his last leg. Or
Okay,
tail.
His only tail.
So if he's flammable, let's see. So he's moving into both their spaces. You can move him just on. I guess he's fine where he's at, but consider him basically not totally overlapping.
Yeah.
But they each take 1d10 fire damage because he's in their space basically.
Alright, so just
And
roll
they
it once for both.
Yeah.
Alright, so this one will die. And this one will take 6. There we go, and I'll put him back.
And he's that snake's on fire now, so he'll continue to take the damage at the start of each of its turn until it's doused.
Alright, I'll put a lightning bolt on him. Cool.
I'll try the George roars. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. The archers are going to attack George.
Sorry to interrupt, but my trap card activates. The celestial dwarfs swing their hammers into him, dealing another 3d8 radiant damage. If you could roll a DC 16 wisdom save, I'd appreciate it.
So why is this? Sorry?
Spirit Guardians. Whenever a creature enters the 15-foot sphere around my character,
Nobody's
or whenever
entering
they start
there
to
right
come
now.
within that sphere, they take the damage.
Yeah, but nobody's. Was this prior?
It's because it started its turn in the area of influence.
That would have been before Don's turn. So is that still happening? Because the turn that's starting right now is the archers. So I'm just wondering.
There's two triggers. One is when it moves into the sphere, and the other is when it starts its turn inside the sphere.
Right, but isn't this the archers now?
Oh, is this the archers?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
My bad. I thought it was the melee guys. Total mistake there. I have no range on the archers.
Okay, that's fine. I will remember to get you to do that though when it comes to the Broodguard's turn if it's still alive. So the archers are making 2 attacks each against George. One hits. For 5 points of damage. They then move. Actually, they'll move to this pod, which is obscured because of where things are. And you can hear them start to chant. But you can't see what they're doing because they're behind the pulsating big pod. You assume that there's another pod there, but you can't see it from where you are. That's their turn. It's Bastion's turn.
Alright. Bastion, move ahead. And, well, I suppose first he will go ahead and cast his cantrip on the guard nearest to him.
Yeah.
Pulling up the cantrip. Sorry for the wait.
No, it's okay. Alright, so the Brood Guard rolled a dex save. He succeeds.
Bastion will move up to the guard and end his turn. Banging his hammer against his shield.
And all of the dwarves bang their shields at the same time. Lana.
Lana is going to move up even closer and kind of sort of going to sort of contribute. Will lean towards Silas and firebolt right between, just next to bypassing Bastion. So with a glorious 8 to hit and that reminder of why she doesn't use firebolt much anymore these days, she just hopes that she make a bad choice by moving that much closer.
Okay.
You got my back, Bastion? Or my front, really?
I got it.
Awesome. You too, Silas, right?
Well, it's Silas's turn, so he can respond as he would like.
Yeah, I got you. And now it's my turn, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let's do this. I will take that step forward. Is there room for both me and Bastion there, or do I need to go around this guy?
You will need to go through his square, which will require a
To end up over here.
shove check, a strength check.
Okay.
So you need to pass a 24. Good luck.
Yeah, easy. Because he's not within 5 feet of me, right?
So,
That's 10 feet.
so when you move into Bastion Square, Bastion will let you pass, right? So that doesn't require a strength check.
Mm.
But when you go to move through the Broodguard's check, you need to pass a 24 to do it, which will mean that you're probably going to be repelled back.
Right. Can I attack in Bastion Square? Or can I not attack there?
No. So
Right. Yeah.
you can squeeze in there, but you're gonna have disadvantage.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll try. I'll try to check. Let's try it.
So basically, here are your choices. Oh,
I can't. Well, I rolled a 1 on both.
yeah.
I would double 1 on if I had advantage. That's I didn't make it.
Yeah. So so yeah, you move like into Bastion Square and you try to muscle past this brood guard who just swipes his tail and pushes you back to whence you came.
Okay. Well, is that by action or is that just a move thing?
So it's one of your multi attacks.
Okay. So I did reload, so I'm just shooting him again. Because if he doesn't want me to move into a square, I'll just shoot him.
14, I think, is just enough.
It is okay. And I will sneak attack on this one.
Okay.
Rather than smiting.
So 10 damage plus sneak attack is probably going to bring him down, but let's see the damage.
9.
No, not quite enough to bring him down.
Well, no, it's 19.
Yeah, no.
10 plus 9. Okay. And yeah, that's that.
Alright, he starts his turn, so Bastion's spirits go off and finish the job. Killing that brood guard. So that's them, and we are up to Dawn. Dawn, there's only the two archers left, but you can't see them currently. You know where they are, but you can't see them because they're obscured by this strange pulsating pod machine.
I see. That I'm moving the map around. It's been just checking ranges, but
Yeah.
I believe no. He's okay. So Don's going to move. No, he's going to move twice up to the entrance here. But he's going to stay. Yeah, about there's good. He rushes up so he can get more advantage, so he can fling his elemental fire, but in his hurry, he has no time or breath left in him to hurl such elemental energies. He'll gesture for George to follow along, and George has a better physique than Don. He'll charge right through the pods to the archers.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, he'll have to go around. They're physical objects. But, yes.
So I was thinking of the... So to explain the mechanics, I was thinking of having him move into the pods like he would into characters to deal the fire damage to them. And then...
Okay.
do... And then probably just use his attacks against them, too.
Alright. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. So maybe have him, I'll guess, like you said, physical objects, I'll have him end on this side of them. Roughly there.
Yep, so you'll do your attacks against the pods?
Yeah. So the ones he moves into take 1d10
Alright.
Fire damage.
Alright. So you can roll that for me.
And then an attack roll for the
AC...
touched by...
Yeah, the AC of the pods is 13.
Ooh, he misses, so we don't need to do the damage on that.
Okay. Does he have multi-attack?
Oh, what attack?
Does he have multi-attack? Like an extra...
Oh, right, he does get 2 attacks. He has 2 touch attacks. Let me...
Yeah, you
There
hit
we
that
go.
second time.
So 2d6 plus 3. There's the damage. All fire.
Okay. Could you get the fire elemental to give me a dex save, please?
Sure.
The DC of which is 15.
That was a nat 1, it looks like.
Okay. As the fire elemental does fire damage to these pods, a creature explodes out. Bam.
I'm sorry, everyone. Only a little, though.
He would take poison damage, but is immune.
Yes, he is immune.
So he instead, because he crit failed as well, right?
Yeah, that is a crit failure.
22 points of non-magical piercing damage. So 11. As the creature just explodes out of the pod and will get added now to the initiative. Now let me, I'll be 1 second, just give me a sec because I need to quickly ask Chloe something, because I may need to leave slightly early. I still have about half an hour even if that's the case, but I just want to double check just to be sure about what's happening. 1 second.
That'd be good for us too, actually. My parents just rolled in.
Am I invited or do you want me to come? You want to just check and let me know, please? Alright, so it'll get added to the initiative. So add turn, and it is going to be a +3. 19, and I'll have to rearrange everyone again.
So I don't know if you heard, but my parents did just show up. So if you need to go off and do something, that actually fits well with our schedule over here too.
All right. Well, let's finish the round, and because the creatures come out, that's a good time to finish up. So, but we'll finish the round. It was George's turn. It's the Archer's turn, and then Bastion, and then we'll call it the end of the session. Is that okay with everybody?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Yeah, it works for me.
The archers. Sorry.
Did the fire elemental deal damage with its touch attack?
Yeah, the creature has taken all of the damage that you did to the pods.
Okay. Because it took the touch attack damage, it also ignites, which deals 6 damage to it.
Okay.
The 1d.
So we did 3, and then
That elemental is nasty.
10,
Damn.
then 6 for 19.
It's basically just fire, liquid fire. It's great.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful.
Just making sure that there's no resistances. Nope. Alright, so yeah, it's taken 19 damage. The archers are going to fan out a little bit. What they're gonna do is they're gonna like come to the top of the stairs, make their shots, and then come down the stairs into the room to be obscured. So they're like hiding in there. I'll actually put them in this square, but their shots go off before that. So we have +5. So this is going to be again against that elemental. And we have this time 2 hits, which deal D8 plus, how much was it again? 2, twice, and then halved. So we did 3 and 2 for a total of 5 damage to the elemental before we got down there. It's Bastion's turn, which is the final turn for this session, and where we will call it quits. So Bastion, how would you like to finish this session off?
You said the elemental just took 5 damage from the archers?
Yes.
Alright, I'll add that on. Go, Bastion.
Alright, Bastion will waddle forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's not quite in range, so he'll stay back. Move more to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And he will go ahead and cast his cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
Been using this a lot. Sacred Flame.
21. As the abomination just, I don't know, slithers from side to side unnaturally. Been unlucky on these deck saves, or they've been lucky, whichever way you want to see that. Okay, so yeah, the abomination dodges out of the way of the sacred flame. Is that the end of your turn there, Bastian?
That is correct. So I believe that's where we're stopping.
Ready.
Cool. Well, that will wrap us up for today. With the emanation of the abomination coming out of the pod, and us realizing that these things are birthing into these sewers, and it explains how there are so many of them. That's kind of scary. So that sort of premises next time, which will be in a couple of weeks, when we will go further here into the lair of these sewer serpents, these UNT, who have made their presence known in the city of Stormreach, and who probably are about to get wiped out. But we will find that out next time. Thank you all for playing. Hope you enjoyed the session, and we will be back in a couple of weeks with the next session. And hopefully we'll do some more good things. Thanks everybody for coming and playing, being part of it, bearing with us as we go through things, and have a good one. I'll stop the recording now and we can debrief real quick.